The story focuses on Vassili, a young shepherd from the Ural Mountains who is recruited by the Soviet army. It starts with his journey to the front lines on a train packed with soldiers, many of whom are poorly equipped and unprepared. Upon arrival, Vassili finds himself in a desperate situation, with the Soviet army on the brink of collapse and the city of Stalingrad being relentlessly bombarded by German forces. The movie quickly sets up the brutality and chaos of the conflict. The Soviet soldiers, poorly equipped and trained, are thrown into the fray to stop the German advance. In this hostile environment, Vassili stands out during an initial mission, showing remarkable skill as a sniper. With a simple rifle and limited ammunition, Vassili manages to take down several high-ranking German officers. This feat is witnessed by Danilov, a political commissar who sees in Vassili an opportunity to boost the morale of the troops and the civilian population. Danilov begins writing articles about Vassili, highlighting his skills and portraying him as a symbol of resistance and hope. Through these articles, Vassili becomes a propaganda hero, meant to inspire Soviet soldiers and citizens. The propaganda spreads quickly, and Vassili becomes a well-known, admired, and respected figure. With his newfound fame, Vassili receives a precision rifle and more support from the army, including a more strategic position from which to operate. However, Vassili's fame does not go unnoticed by the Germans. Concerned about the losses caused by this Soviet sniper, the German High Command decides to send their best sniper, Major Erwin König, to eliminate him. König is an experienced and respected veteran, known for his lethal precision and ability to stay hidden. His mission is to kill Vassili and dismantle the myth of the Soviet hero, which would have a significant psychological impact on the enemy troops. König's arrival in Stalingrad intensifies the conflict. The movie develops a tense narrative of hunting and being hunted, with both snipers using the ruins of the city as their battleground. Each encounter between Vassili and König is filled with suspense, as both men try to anticipate each other's moves. The ruined city becomes a deadly maze, where any mistake could be fatal. In the midst of this deadly game, Tanya Chernova is introduced, a young soldier who has lost her family to the Germans. Tanya joins the Soviet resistance with fervor, driven by pain and a desire for revenge. She is intelligent and brave, quickly becoming a valuable member of Vassili's group. As Vassili and Tanya spend more time together, they develop an emotional connection, though they are cautious at first due to the dangerous nature of their environment. Tanya, who is also Jewish, has a background of pain and loss that adds depth to her character and her relationship with Vassili. Tanya's presence adds a new dimension to the story, especially since Danilov also develops feelings for her. Danilov, initially a fervent believer in the Soviet cause and propaganda, begins to experience internal conflicts. His unrequited love for Tanya and growing admiration for Vassili complicate his idealistic views. This love triangle becomes a significant subplot, showing how human emotions can intertwine with the cold logic of war. The movie presents several confrontations between the two snipers, each more tense than the last. In one of the most memorable sequences, König kills a close friend of Vassili, a young soldier named Sasha, who had been spying for the Soviets. This act not only highlights König's cold efficiency but also personalizes the conflict for Vassili, turning their confrontation into a matter of personal honor and revenge. The portrayal of life in Stalingrad is grim and heartbreaking. The city is in ruins, and its inhabitants are suffering greatly. The movie does not shy away from showing the harsh realities of war, including scenes of civilians caught in the crossfire and desperate soldiers facing their mortality. As Vassili's fame grows, so does the pressure on him. He becomes a symbol, not just of resistance but also of the expectations and hopes of a nation. This pressure begins to affect him, as each loss and failure feels like a personal blow. The movie explores his internal struggle with the burden of being a hero and the emotional toll of being a sniper in such a brutal war. After the death of the young Soviet spy Sasha, who had been providing information about König to Vassili, the situation becomes even more personal and desperate for Vassili. Sasha's death weighs heavily on him, increasing his determination to take down König. Sasha had been captured and forced to reveal information under torture, leading to his tragic end. This is not only a personal blow to Vassili, but also exposes the cruelty of war and the extreme measures used by both sides. König, aware that Vassili is getting closer, uses his vast experience to set up ambushes and traps. Despite his ruthless attitude, König shows a tacit respect for Vassili, recognizing his skill and determination. However, for König, the mission is clear: eliminate Vassili and dismantle the myth of the Soviet hero. His constant presence and the threat he poses keep Vassili and his comrades in a state of constant alert. Meanwhile, the relationship between Vassili and Tanya deepens. They find comfort and strength in their connection, sharing moments of intimacy and support amid the chaos of war. Tanya, who has suffered greatly at the hands of the Germans, sees in Vassili a source of hope and humanity. This relationship, however, causes friction with Danilov, who is also in love with Tanya. Danilov, increasingly jealous and desperate, begins to question his own ideals and role in the war. In his desperation and confusion, Danilov makes a grave mistake. He inadvertently reveals Vassili's location to König, hoping to eliminate the romantic rivalry he feels towards Tanya. This betrayal not only endangers Vassili but also reveals the dark side of war, where even friends can become enemies due to the tensions and stress of the conflict. Danilov, realizing his mistake, experiences a crisis of conscience, understanding that he has put not only Vassili but also the cause he so fervently defended at risk. The climax of the movie comes with a final showdown between Vassili and König. Both snipers, physically and emotionally exhausted, prepare for one last duel. König, using all his skill and experience, tries to lure Vassili into a trap. However, Vassili, learning from his previous mistakes and understanding his enemy better, manages to turn the situation around. In a decisive moment, Vassili takes a strategic position and patiently waits for König. When König finally appears, Vassili surprises him and, with a precise shot, kills him. This act not only marks the end of the duel between the two snipers, but also symbolizes a moral and psychological victory for Vassili and the Soviet forces. König's death is a crucial moment. Despite his success, Vassili feels the weight of having killed an enemy who, despite being on opposite sides, shared the same lonely and dangerous life as a sniper. However, this death frees Vassili from constant danger and allows him to continue his mission, though with a heavier emotional burden. After this event, Danilov, consumed by guilt for his betrayal and the accumulated tension, makes a drastic decision. In an act of redemption and atonement, Danilov sacrifices himself, deliberately revealing his position to a German sniper to draw attention away from Vassili. Before he dies, Danilov admits to Vassili that he should never have tried to use him as a mere pawn of propaganda and that he, like many others, was desperately looking for a hero to believe in. This final sacrifice by Danilov shows how war can drive people to extremes of betrayal and redemption. In the final moments of the movie, Vassili finds Tanya, who has been injured during an attack. Fortunately, she survives and is taken to a field hospital, where Vassili visits her. The movie concludes with a note of hope and continuity, despite the devastation and losses suffered. Vassili, now recognized as a war hero, continues his service in the army, but the experience of war has left an indelible mark on him. If you want to see more movie summaries, don't forget to leave a like and turn on the notification bell.